3D-CAD.
Now, one of the helpful things when we're working with reporting in Autodesk Vault is we get a visual feedback from our 3D model. So we're not just looking at an Excel spreadsheet or a line-by-line report, but rather we're looking at a live report in our three-dimensional model. We're highlighting the actual components, in this case, that are controlled by a specific user or that need to be affected by a specific user. And so we want to go in here and we want to figure out, okay, of these components, which ones of these needs to be changed, so we can go ahead and run a live report and figure out which one of the actual components visually need to be changed. So now I know, based on the the ECO that I've been requested to change, I need to go ahead and update some of the belt components because I had some interference and the geometry of the belt was just a little bit too wide. So I'll go ahead and make these changes inside of Autodesk Inventor, and we get a live preview directly into our central storage location, directly into Vault, telling us we need to update these items in Vault. We need to check these items back in. Now I'm going to go ahead and run a new report, and I can see here which items are still work in progress. These are the components that I changed. And so I actually need to push these through for review. And so I'm going to go ahead and take this, the geometry that I've made changes to, and go ahead and put in or submit this for review to my boss so that he can actually sign off on this information. Now we can see, based on the report, the new updated report, that which items are pushed through for review, which items still need to be changed, and which items are released. So we can go into our drawing here, and we can start to see some of the drawing updates that were made out on the shop floor, and we can go ahead and mark these components or these red lines as completed, and then we can simply check that additional information in to Vault so that everything's updated. So we went and go ahead and cleared that red line based on the fact that we completed that. And this really shows how integrated and easy it is to use Autodesk Vault in relationship to Autodesk Inventor 2011.
Okay, so in this example, I'm going to highlight my electrical wiring schematics as well as my top level assembly. Right click and say assign item. What this will do, Vault will look through the relationships of both those files and all the other relationships that they have themselves and create a new custom item that will hold all this information together. Okay, and we can add or take things off from that. It doesn't necessarily have to be design files, it can be documents, it can be presentations, anything you like. Okay, so if I right click here and say go to item now, that will automatically switch me to my items master. And this is the new wiring enclosure item that I've created. If I double click on it, I'll see that numerous files, even the presentation is involved in this. We have now, every time there's going to be a new change made in one of these files, the revision now will follow suit for the rest of the things that are associated with it. And here I've got my bill of materials, unified bill of materials, and I can actually export this, but we also have the ability to bring information in. And at this stage, what I wanted to show you is not only can we export information for bill of materials, but we can also bring things into the Vault. And in this particular case, I wanted to show you an example of an CSV file or spreadsheet that has come from an external ERP system. So I mentioned we're working with the electrical team as well, and some of these people are using an external ERP system for the bill of materials. So basically what I have here is a bill of materials for the PCB board that is into the assembly, and all the components are included on the PCB board. Now I want to really ideally include this into my custom item, the new custom item I created, and bring all this information into my BOM. So the way to do this is I can use my import items tool, and I can use some Microsoft inputs. So I can use the CSV and browse to my desktop and point it to that file that I showed you. Now this will go according to the columns that I had on my spreadsheet, and in this case they're pretty straightforward. If there was any problems with that, I can manually edit and map these as I like. Okay, so it's showing me what it's going to create. It's going to create all these new, there's no conflicts. If there were conflicts, I can manually change that or point it to the right direction from here. Okay, just a summary. Everything has been successfully imported. So let's go back to our custom item, back into our bill of materials, and start adding all this information into our. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to search by category. So anything that contains electrical, and I can see some of the new parts here. So adding the schematics that my colleagues from the electrical teams have done, and also adding the imported contents from the CSV file. Okay, so if I expand that, now not only do I have the electrical schematics, but I also have the important contents that come from the sales purchase department for the PCB components that are required for this. Okay, so that's in regards to the custom items. I'm going to save changes to that. One final thing I really wanted to show you here is